Welcome to Liquid Lunch on a Monday, a very hot Monday. Well, summer's here. What do you expect? Too bad we can't have this kind of weather on the weekend, although it was very nice yesterday. And we're starting the show today with Nora Walks in spirit. And Nora, great to have you on the show always.
Yes.
Always going to be an interesting conversation when you're here. And
the energies are moving.
Well, listen, it's only 3 days, or 2 or 3 days. I always think it's the 21st, right?
Thursday.
The solstice. It's the longest day of the year. It's always, to me, a little bit sad when we hit that day. It means the days stop getting longer and they start getting shorter.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting when you say the longest day of the year.
Yeah.
I was talking with someone the other day and they were saying, like, on solstice, their great-great-grandfather said it's the only day of the year that you can place an egg and it'll sit upright.
Really?
Because it's the balancing of the night and the day, the energetic field.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually, on solstice, put the egg up and it won't fall over.
So we can all try that on the 21st.
Yeah. Before we go into 1 day at a time shortening.
Oh, okay. Right.
Or
so
longer.
we probably got to get pretty close to that moment, right? When it's
the whole day you can just place an egg on the counter.
Have you tried it yourself?
No.
I'm going to try it
I have
this
to.
year.
I'll have my dog close by in case it wants to roll over onto the floor, right?
Yeah. Okay, so now the solstice means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but I mean, you are sensing some energies coming in around the solstice, and can we talk about that?
It's already started really ramping up these high frequencies. So with this fifth dimensional consciousness that's coming in, because I work with all the higher energies and the grid systems, and every time there's an eclipse or a new moon or a solstice, we get bombarded with these very high frequencies.
Yeah.
So you have to stay really, really anchored and grounded. This type of frequencies I find is more of the solar winds hitting the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually getting higher vibrations on your outer fields, which is lifting up and pulling out low frequencies in your body. So people will get sick.
Well, I was just mentioning because you mentioned that it's putting a lot of stress on people.
Exhaustion.
And I'm encountering people who are, like one fella who says he's got a cold and he hasn't even been able to answer texts for a few days. He's been that kind of just recovering. Other people getting sick, sometimes just for a day. They can't really put their finger on what the symptoms are.
Yeah, it's these high, they're gamma rays, they're higher solar winds, and they're actually purging, like your it's actually pushing up and exposing and extracting the low vibrations in your body. This would be hidden selves, low timelines and that. So you will have a lot of phlegm. Mm-hmm. You'll have tightness in your muscles, the bloating, and then you're just totally exhausted. So a lot of people by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're just exhausted. It's because your body is releasing and infusing at the same time this high frequency. Fifth dimensional consciousness.
So if people are experiencing some of these symptoms,
yeah.
You're saying it's getting rid of these
lower vibrations, timelines, emotion. It's mostly the emotional body, and it's also memory fields.
So I guess, although people might be experiencing some pain, I guess the good news is that they are having some of this negativity removed.
It's a detoxing, yeah.
And so when can people start to expect that they're going to feel better? And what will their new state be like once all this healing has happened?
Yeah, it depends on the person. They really have to relax and just allow, like it's like any cold or flu. They just have to allow the body to release. And every time the emotions, especially of fear, uneasiness, waveforms of anxiety are coming in really strong, and tension, you just have to know it's it's, as they would say, this too will pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got to just let it go. These are high frequencies coming in. It's not the linear programs that we're used to as a 3D planet. So let it come out and stay very balanced and drink lots of water.
Water.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that from people.
You need to hydrate the body because
Yeah.
everything's coming out and
Yeah.
you're breathing in a high frequency. The high frequency that's coming in is where the body kind of goes, like it kind of shirks.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
when you step into the lake. You're not used to that water temperature, so your body kind of pulls back. These are the high frequencies that are coming in for solstice. Extremely strong this solstice. And so it's like stepping into the lake. Your body cannot go in resistance. You have to be in a state of acceptance. Okay, I'm going to be releasing some things. Just accept it, drink lots of water, and take it easy.
And of course,
Take
as
it easy.
we know, in our experience of jumping into the lake, you know, that first foot feels a little chilly, but once we get in there and dunk our heads, then it starts to feel warm again.
Everything's on the same vibration.
Yeah.
Everything's lukewarm or absolutely still freezing. It's like, why did I do this? Yikes.
Oh my goodness, it's really raining outside all of a sudden. I love the rain. I don't know how you feel about it, Nora, but
For me, you know, it's really interesting because when it rains, it's my highest, purest channel days.
yeah,
When I wake up in the morning and it's raining outside, I'm just like, yes.
yeah,
Because I know it's like a spiritual shower of information. Really, really high frequencies come in, and I get the most profound messages.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens today.
Yeah. Well, it's this is one of those hot days. It's like it's so hot you don't mind. You go out in the rain and you just dance around under the raindrops.
And wash off the old waves.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about. I mean, you're talking about fifth dimension. You're talking about these energies coming in, and I mean, are we as a planet moving to some kind of a new state, a fifth dimensional state? And what does that mean? I mean, I hear a lot of strange stories, like, for example, and you mentioned timelines, that we're in some sort kind of time loops or something, and that some of these time, you know, maybe you don't want to go here, but I hear it's like these time loops, some of them are being erased, some of them are, you know, on some timelines we've been through a nuclear war or something, but somehow those timelines are being dealt with. I don't know if
Yeah,
have any
well,
comment
I
about
guess
that?
everybody has these different scenarios and understandings of it. And I mean, there's some people that have asked me, when's this big event happening? There's something about an event where everything's going to shift all at once.
Yeah.
There's going to be some kind of event that's going to take place, like when it was Y2K.
Yeah.
They're saying the fifth dimension is going to come in and it's a big wave, it's a big event, and it's going to be happening. Do you know, have you heard when it's going to be happening? And I'm like, no. I haven't heard that from my guides. I just know that the planet is shifting. The grid systems on the planet, the continents, the oceans are all shifting. These are magnetic fields, and they're increasing in gamma rays, and which shifts the light frequencies in the body. And this is awakening our cellular timelines, our memories of our cellular timelines. They've been pushed down into stillness or dormancy or suppression for thousands of years. And this is what the 5D is. We're coming into an enlightened state, like how Buddha was or the Christ consciousness was. And because it's so light, it's a high frequency, and it's really awakening you to letting go. So people will say, boy, what about the Akashic records? What about my timeline when I was a medicine man or whatever, right? And when I sit with myself in stillness, they just say, no, you don't investigate the Akashic records. All of that is being cleansed and purified. They just want the soul of who you are and your physical body or grid system of the body to be absolutely crystal clear. Then your soul of who you've reincarnated into in this lifetime can connect to the true soul, the master soul. So kind of in a short wave of saying it, really, the fifth dimensional consciousness is moving to the light consciousness and letting go of all of the timelines and all the records and all the programs of hundreds of thousands of years. You're just stepping up to a platform where you're connecting to your crystal light soul.
Okay, so
It's hard to explain, but
no, I know. So for individuals, how will their lives change? And then for the collective,
consciousness,
yeah, and the world, the world out there, how will things change?
yeah, okay. For the individual, such as yourself and all, you're going to become more intuitive, but more telepathic. So these abilities where you were used to sensing something's happening soon, or sensing someone's going to come walking through the door any minute, it's going to be advanced. So as you think it, so it is. That's what happens with the 5D. So everybody is kind of exposing and letting go of these old selves, but you're also being poured in with these light gamma rays, which are activating the gifts, the virtues, and the attributes. So what'll happen is, if you had a sense of healing hands or creativities and writings, it's going to be amplified. So everybody's going to be actually amplified in their abilities as they let go of the old. And as a planet, if everyone starts becoming harmonically attuned to their light abilities and to knowing telepathically what's happening in the next minute or so, you've got a harmonic planet that's raising up in a very purified state of peace. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good news. So, because there's a lot of nasty
Heaviness.
things going on. I mean, there always has been, talking about wars and just oppression.
It's an imbalance right now.
Yeah.
It's really imbalance. It's kind of like there's a whole division of continents and countries of people that are not certain what is this wave that's coming in. They don't understand it, so they go into resistance. The resistance brings out the pain and suffering, brings out a negative reaction, brings out the dark soul side of their timelines. Right? So they're reliving what they did, hundreds of thousands of years ago, fighting in battles or gladiators or who knows what. But it's really amplifying. So when you're in a light-minded group and the collective consciousness is working towards detoxing, cleansing, purifying the soul lifetimes, not the body just does it anyways, you get a whole different sector of people, which there's quite a few in California like this. There's quite a few people in Canada like this. And the wave is going really, really strong. I'm talking to a lot of people around the world right now, and they're excited about this change. They're happy that their gifts and their abilities are just happening. Like it's shifting.
So basically, it's good news all around.
Absolutely, it's an exciting time.
Okay.
I really enjoy it because every day is kind of like, okay, so what are I going to tap into today?
Yeah.
You don't know. It's like maybe there's an ability of teleportation, not just telepathy.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, imagine if I could just be here and not drive here.
That would be cool.
Bring on the tachyons. Like Star Trek, and there's a column over there, and oh, she's here.
That would be very cool.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
We just got to get tachyonized.
So we don't need Skype anymore.
No. We just need to trust that our mind is going to stay quiet and let us go into that visionary silhouette or hologram, right? Like,
Okay.
is that you or is that your hologram?
Yeah.
That's what will happen.
That's really happening too with the holograms. And actually, I mean, if you I don't know if we want to get into that too much, but there's been times when, just in my own life, people have said they just ran into me but I wasn't there. Like, I don't have memory of it, but they have a very distinct memory of something that they experienced with me
Oh, yeah.
very recently or something. So I wonder if that's alternative timelines or alternative quantum holographic representations. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it feels to me like it was a timeline.
Yeah.
Fast forward and then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is Thursday is the solstice. I guess that's going to be the peak of this energy wave.
Well, it's always a few days before. It's just like a full moon with before and after. Right after the solstice, as you say, the days get shorter.
Yeah.
The egg's going to wobble. The very next day, she's not standing up. So we're not in a wobble ourselves, but we are going to be advancing because it's going to keep advancing in the higher frequencies. So you're going to find that right after June 21st, then there's 2 eclipses in July. So you're not over the fence yet.
Oh.
Like there's, July 13th or 14th, there's a solar eclipse, and then there's a lunar eclipse around the end of the month. So the planet is being bathed with a lot of dimensional shifts of consciousness. So even though you're feeling these people are mentioning to you that they're feeling ill right now, it's kind of like they're just getting the first turn, the first shift, like pulling out the stagnant or the timelines. It's just getting pulled out, exposed. Then you hit another eclipse, and more comes out, and another eclipse, and then you're into August 8/8 gateway. It's just going to keep going like this throughout this whole year. This year is a very, very heightened year of mastery.
Okay, so that's now. Also, we're talking about you've got a conference coming up, a gathering of crystal light souls. This year happening October 13th and 14th, just down the street, downtown Toronto.
Yeah, DoubleTree Hilton.
And let's talk about what this event is all about. Did you pick the date specifically for any particular reason?
Due to some speakers, their schedule. But it was a 10th month that they wanted it to be a transition of month, because from January right through to the 10th month, we will have done a lot of the shifting to move into the crystal light soul frequency.
Okay.
So just like we were talking about the solstice, this purging and letting go, it's all to clear the soul, clear the mind, to tap into this higher crystal frequency.
All right.
So on the 10th month, most people will be really tapped into their own higher essence, their own higher soul. So that's why they gave me, this is going to be a gathering of crystal light souls. These are the people that are advanced light workers and healers. A couple of shamans will be there to help purify the bodies and amplify the structure of the grid systems of the body. And then there'll be a couple of speakers there that will be speaking about the crystalline grid systems on the planet and in sacred portals on the planet. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be moving in graduations from the moment you start the first part of the conference with the Peruvian shaman, into an Algonquin shaman, into a crystalline grid system of Egyptian energies, and into the higher tachyon frequencies and pyramid vibrational energies. So you're going to have a mixing of your body in its dense state, being purified on a planetary state by the shamans, but they will also be opening up the bridge to freedom for the mind, so that you become the bridge, you become your own essence of light, and then you'll be able to tap into these grid systems with either Rob Plotter or Jason Quinn.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Well, first of all, before we get into that, who really should think about coming to the conference?
Anyone who wants to be really, really balanced and in full tune to their own soul. Because right now people are just getting to know, all about this 5D consciousness. They're getting to know about how their body's shifting and transitioning, but they don't know why, and they don't really get the gist of what are crystals doing on the planet. What is the planet doing? So you've got a real gambit open here from advanced healers and learners who are working at clearing themselves constantly, but want their gifts totally amplified. And you've got people who are just stepping into the pond type of thing and saying, I think I just want to deal with a shaman and have my chakras moved into crystal chakras. I want to know what the soul journey is, so I want the shaman to take me on a soul journey quest. Because they will be doing healings, each one of them.
Okay.
So you can book sessions during those 2 days.
All right. And I notice you've got Michael Moon as a musical guest.
Yeah.
And he's always great.
I know. I've asked him to bring just the crystal bowls and the gong and those chimes.
Okay.
Because I really want the essence of this crystal vibration to be all morning, all afternoon, and all evening. Like, I don't want any electrical music. I want it just all pristine. The beings that work with me and the masters that tap into these other brilliant speakers, it's got to be pure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
So
we talk?
Michael's got to do it for sure.
Now, I see you've also got Jason Quick coming in, and you've already mentioned, I mean, he deals with a lot of Egyptian stuff,
He does work with codes. Jason's known for the Yosef codes and energetic codes that he creates for people and that sort of thing. So he's going to be talking about the codes of creation. These are universal energy codes that he will be tapping into. So he may do some of the Egyptian mudras for those that want to feel their energetic vibrational bodies changing. But he is going to concentrate on the crystal codes from the universal grids. I'm going to be walking the grids in my teachings. It's going to come through. They're going to take me up, and I'm just going to walk through the dimensions. That's what I see more now in my own visions where I've advanced. So it kind of blends with Jason talking about the codes of creation and universal energy, and then Rob coming in from Mount Shasta, California. He's going to be talking about the esoteric body. The shifting of the vibrational body. He works with very heightened, I would say gadgets or toys or something, but I mean, I don't know what he calls them on a science level, like pyramids and Tesla coils and quantum physics wands and Sintamani stones and tachyon crystals. Things that you guys like to...
We like to do work with that kind of stuff.
Get the shock or get the buzz of this thing, and then hold a stone and put the crystal on your third eye, and then put a laser on it to tap into the third eye and the pineal crystal. And so this is the things that he does that just gets the dormant crystals in the pineal really zapping.
So people will get an opportunity to see some of these devices and work with them.
Yeah, I was actually I haven't chatted with him yet, but I want to get him to put the lights out and then do this laser through the whole ceiling and just tap it into the crystals, and then the lasers will go right at your third eye and crown.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you'll be awakened. There's no snoozing at this conference.
Now that's Rob Potter and Pete Bernard. You mentioned.
Yes.
He's the Algonquin.
He's a Algonquin medicine man or shaman from actually that's what I am, Algonquin. We are relatives through family. There's cousins and second cousins we are, and he teaches the 8th fire medicine. Which is a very intense training on all of your timelines, all of your souls, and working with entities and clearing. But with this type of conference, both him and Jorge, a Peruvian shaman, they'll be here doing a little speaking on the stage each morning, Saturday and Sunday. But then they'll also be offering healing sessions, so you can go and get those healing sessions. But I'm going to have Pete work with the spider medicine, which is in our 8th fire training, shamanic training, where you're in the infinite 8th fire, where you're walking the grids. You're now more than an elder. It's like taking the young student, and once they become trained and fully accepted with the elders and the star nations, you're now walking the universal grids, and you actually become the bridge within you to your soul being amplified into a oneness frequency. So I'm going to get him to open up that grid in people's journey, so that you will be able to see and feel that frequency of that grid come into you.
So are you actually conscious of this grid, or of walking it or experiencing it?
When you get fully cleared of the mind and your thought forms coming in, where you're in absolute stillness, you become it. It becomes you.
Oh, okay.
You know, kind of like somewhat not even a trance state, but you actually have one of those deja moments, kind of like that, where you're there and you're here at the same time. That's going into the bridge to realities.
Right.
And we are at that state right now, where some of us, advanced ones that have been doing this for a number of years, our consciousness is ready to stay on that 5th dimension, no longer down here, or in this third. So this is why I have this particular lineup of speakers. It's for the beginners and the graduate ones working with the body.
Right.
But every part of it is working on the mind and the soul.
Okay, so that's Jorge Luis Delgado from Peru, the Peruvian shaman, and
Jorge's going to come in from Peru. He will do the Inca training. He's going to be bringing in some of the higher traditions of the Incas, and teaching about there is a sacred passageway up in the northern part of Peru, and also in Lake Titicaca, where it's a dimensional portal. So it'd be like a wall like this, it's a stone, but you can actually go through it.
I think I've heard about that.
It's Amuru.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to be talking about that, and you'll be able to step into stillness and just get the concept of how they would do that. And again, it's about going into that higher state of freedom and just receiving from those grid systems and dimensions.
Okay.
And he will be doing personal sessions with Chumpy's ceremony, he said, and working with different stones that he'll put on each one of your chakras. That he's going to be rattling sticks and smoking and pulling stuff out of you for those that want body healings. Yeah.
Now, this is not the first one, right? You've done the Gathering of Crystal Souls.
In 2016.
I think I was there.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, at Oise, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't you have the crystal skulls there or something?
Yes,
before?
I had Shauna Ra, the 12-dimensional crystal skull there.
Yeah.
Michelle Nocerini came up from California and brought that crystal skull. It came in and did the opening ceremony and then the closing ceremony, which just shifted a lot of frequencies that day.
Right.
And this time, I was more drawn to have shamans that are working with the shifting of the planet and the grid systems of the planet, polarized by the grid systems of where I'm going to be walking in the grids. Jason's going to be working with that, and Rob is. So I'm kind of wanting to have it like this. So if you're more of a grounding person and you like working on the planetary field,
Yeah.
you'll be tuning into those shamans. And I just know their information is going to be phenomenal.
Well, I think it's interesting you've got Jorge Luis, the shaman from Peru, because I've heard that with respect to the Earth grid, now maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here, Nora, but I heard that the crown chakra of the
Where
Earth
did you
grid,
hear it from?
I don't know, probably somebody on the internet.
Okay, so it's not your inner mind. You didn't create it.
But I heard that the crown chakra, which used to be in the Himalayas, like in Tibet, basically,
Correct.
has now shifted to Peru, to the Andes. So I don't know if that is a meaningful information, but I think it's interesting that you've got a shaman coming in from Peru.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know that there are different ones, like I believe the third eye was in India,
Yeah.
and throat was Greece.
Yeah.
Like they're different portals on the planet where they
Right.
were.
Yeah.
But the amount of activity from different dimensions has increased. It really has increased up in Lake Titicaca,
Yeah.
and in that part of Peru where he has a lot of sightings. So I'm hoping he brings a lot of pictures of the sightings, and that would make sense that they're arriving on the crown chakra of the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the highest point where Lake Titicaca is. We had the volcanoes in Hawaii,
Well-
which was actually Hawaii area is actually the Lemurian
Right.
area where a lot of stuff has been letting go and purging out of the planet, right? Easter Island is like the conjunctive. It's like the main Union Station where many different grid systems come in and out and leave the planet. So having the crown chakra where there's very flat land and tables for these ships to arrive and sort of things makes it really interesting that you're hearing that it's the crown. Because it's also with the crown chakra, it's the intelligence of the Incas receiving from, all of the other spirits to bring the light back into the soul and bring the soul up into light. So it's really the Crystal Light Soul Gathering. Right?
And the timing is interesting because you're talking about the Earth grid, and we see, you mentioned what's happening in Hawaii with the eruptions there.
And Guatemala.
Guatemala, I just heard of a new one this morning, the Galapagos Islands, which is
Australia.
right off the coast of South America, right off, I think off Peru or Ecuador, something. So, it's that's close to the Andes there, and it's
I'm just getting a message here. It's up at Iceland.
Iceland.
So you had Hawaii. This is the showing me like a diamond formation,
Right.
where you have the Hawaii, Guatemala, Iceland. These are very heightened volcanic areas, and then over here on the other side looks to me like in Africa, Table Mountain. This is the diamond frequencies are arriving to cleanse the grid lines and grid systems in these heightened portal points of the planet. The Himalayan, the Kiri and the tectonic plate over at Japan, will shift as will the shifting take place over here in California and South America. It's like Hawaii, Central America, Iceland, and then this Table Mountain. It's showing me, like, I'm seeing underneath underneath these islands, underneath these vectors, he's saying, of the land. It's underneath that's coming up and purging out. Just the same as our human body and human soul is being purged out of these low programmed timelines that are just causing disruptive thought forms, causing us death and decay and really disharmonic waves, or feeling anxiety. This is all disharmonic frequencies. So it's coming out of us, but it's also got to come out of the planet. Her consciousness has to be released to shape shift into a crystalline frequency. So it's interesting that they're saying it's got to be a diamond, like a pyramid this way, from Iceland, Guatemala, temples, Hawaii, which is a junction of energies coming in and out, and then over this way to Africa, and then Iceland. It's going from Africa over where Stonehenge, that, because these are, what do you call that? Radioactive waves to communicate to the networks of grid systems that are arriving around the planet to assist in her ascension.
You meant Table Mountain, if I remember correctly. That's near Cape Town, South Africa.
Up a bit, yeah. Johannesburg, is it? Up.
Okay.
It's up. I don't see it graphically on the continent.
Right.
I just see a very flat.
Okay. Oh, flat mountain.
Flat area where they can come in and just pulse a frequency.
Okay.
So this is, you can't see this.
Yeah.
People are not going to be running out and looking for ships or something, because when they come to me, it comes in waves of knowledge, and then it comes in, I see it like different strands. Is this like how the rain was coming down? I see it like that, and then you can't really see it because it's water, right? But when I get the messages like that, it's the essence. So it comes in a information and an essence, and then it's gone.
So I just wonder if there's if we can see earthquakes, volcanic activity can have a harmful effect on human beings, cities, populations. I mean,
it's part of the purging. It's part of the releasing and settling of the new consciousness onto the planet, and everything has to change. I mean, the third dimension is very destructive. It's very unbalanced. It's male driven. It's been, a lot of programs of systems, and people are changing their way of thinking as they're releasing things and becoming more aware, as certain personalities in certain situations are being exposed, and all of this being exposed is part of the consciousness. So there's going to be horrific rains or volcanoes or fires, but it's the purging that the planet needs. It's not about damaging souls. We want to place light in those energies. When I get a message like this, then I immediately know I'm going to be placing a light grid or a dome over those areas of Iceland and Africa to assist in this transition for that area of the planet.
Okay, Nora.
It's pretty vast.
It's pretty vast. So we've got the solstice coming up Thursday.
Yes.
Everyone get their eggs out. Get ready to make them stand up and not fall down. And then we can look forward.
Exactly.
Then we can look forward to a gathering of crystal light souls in October.
Yes.
And there's an early bird special. People can. They have to do it before July, though. So now's
July
the time.
1st is the cutoff for the special of 222, and then after that it will be the 333.
Okay. And how do people get their tickets or whatever?
Online to gatheringoflightbeings.com. They can go through PayPal.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's been good.
So that's the
a lot
website.
of information and a lot of interesting. You got some healing taking place here,
Where?
all over your body.
Really?
Yep, I was altering your grid systems.
Oh my goodness. Well, what a great way to start the week.
Exactly. Rain to flush out the outer fields and cleanse the whole building.
Well, what was interesting, when we started the show, it wasn't raining. We actually had a big rainstorm out there while we were speaking, and now it's
Sunshine.
It's gone away. The sun's starting to peek out, and as you were saying, those rainy days are the ones where you're the most in tune with things. So
And we got a beautiful message
yeah,
we got it tuned.
yeah. Okay, great. So thanks for the healing, Nora,
No problem. It was good being here.
and we'll see you again soon, I'm sure, before the gathering. So thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, okay.
And people, of course, can check out gatheringoflightbeings.com. Get their tickets before July 1st. And have start to ascend as we make our way to 5D.
And get ready by being balanced and still for solstice.
Okay. Great.
Try and be still often as you can in the day.
And drink lots of water.
And feel the energies. If you feel wobbly inside, get grounded.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Nora. Okay, we're going to take a little break here. We got lots more coming up, of course. It's Vegan Monday, so we'll be back in a few minutes with lots more. ThatChannel.com.